especially when Ryan talks. Oh wait.
Well, hey, it's Ryan Higgins. Hey, what's happening? This is Comic Conspiracy episode 301. Bryce was starting to talk, but I had already hit record, so that's fine. We'll just go here. This is episode 301 of the Comic Conspiracy podcast for the week of March 14th, 2017. My name, once again, is Ryan Higgins. Who's here this week?
Brock Sager.
Chink in the armor, Bryce Larsen.
Oh,
Toby.
And Charlie.
hey, what's going on, guys?
Happy Pie Day.
Yes, I do love me some pie. Not that type of pie, because I'm not good at math. We're going to talk about...
You own a comic book store. You deal with numbers all the time.
Do I? I deal with numbers that go up and occasionally...
He has a computer for that.
Oh, that's true.
I deal with numbers that occasionally restart at number one.
Moby pumps some numbers out to me when I ask it certain questions.
I can't add 1 plus 1 MU plus 1.1 plus 27.3.
Are you trying to get back to your legacy number?
Yeah. We're gonna do that. Hey guys, let's talk about some comic booky things because we have some. Actually, we have no comic book things to talk about this week. We have movie and TV shows based around comic book things to talk about, and some questions. This is probably I'm not going to say it would be a short episode because then it'll be 3.5 hours.
Don't say that anymore.
But
challenge accepted.
But
see, you started it already.
Oh wait, no, we do have something to talk about. We do have a comic book thing to talk about. No comic book news, but we have to talk about IVX because IVX just wrapped up, and
I have a lot to say about it.
I know myself. I finished it. Bryce finished it. Charlie finished. Did you read IVX? Did you start IVX?
Well, no, I read.
I know, Brock.
I read all of IVX, and I remember the general bits of how it ended. But I'm having fun going.
Do you remember the specifics?
That's what I'm having fun with because it's one of the last comics I rushed through on Sunday.
Yeah,
I read it last Tuesday before we recorded.
you weren't missing a ton. Let's talk about IVX. I guess if you really, really care about spoilers for IVX, you may want to fast forward 5-10 minutes here. But this is Marvel's most recent kind of big crossover.
You just challenged Bryce to break that time.
Yeah, this is Marvel's more recent kind of big crossover, and it was met with a lot of hate online and some hate on the podcast here from Bryce, of all people. Bryce was not a fan of IVX as it was going on.
Wait, what? I feel like my memory's playing tricks on me. What do you mean hatred from Bryce?
You were pretty anti-IVX when we mentioned it.
I was nitpicking. There's some holes in it. There's some things, some elements that I don't like, but I wouldn't say that I didn't like it. I don't know. Maybe it's just revisionist history. But keep going. I don't remember disliking it so much. I do have to say
facts.
I do have to say that your fake news is going to be met with a lot of revisionist. No. I have plenty to say. I wouldn't say that I hated it. I don't know. I'm not going to go to bat for it really too much.
Right, maybe this was something you were talking to your microwave
let's
about.
Get to that.
Well, the big change in IVX, because one thing actually changed. And that is that Emma Frost is now a villain again. She's a straight up supervillain. She's no longer
back to being the white. She's the Black Queen now.
Well, she's not anything.
So
she's
it's
just a bad guy now.
It's another one of those things that I expected to happen a lot sooner than it actually did.
Me too. Like bringing back Professor X or Jean Grey or Wolverine.
Yeah.
I think it's tough when you have a character that's for so long been on the... She's never been on the good side. She's been on the mutant side. Yeah. And the X-Men have always positioned themselves and since the Morrison run, basically, as all of them are sort of working together now at this point, including Magneto, including Emma Frost. So it's weird that she goes, kind of full supervillain at the end, but it makes sense. But it's weird that half the X-Men don't also side with her. But we'll get into the larger plot here. I did kind of take a few notes here. I rambled a bit on Twitter, so I can reiterate some of this stuff here.
Oh, God, I didn't see that.
No, the bigger complaint I have about the series is that obviously the whole setup for this doesn't make a lot of sense. If you go back to Death of X,
that I think is my problem that I may have had that you may be remembering.
Yeah, Death of X set up that the reason the Inhumans and the X-Men are fighting and this big bad thing that Cyclops did was they blew up one of the Terrigen Mist clouds that were turning Inhumans into Inhumans, but also killing mutants.
Yeah.
And everyone's calling Cyclops a Hitler and that he's the worst person ever. And the story of what happened was just that he sacrifices like one random mutant, throws him into the cloud to get rid of it.
Well,
and
that wasn't even him.
No,
point.
but right, we'll get to there. And he didn't do anything really. I mean, obviously, he.
And by the way, that mutant was introduced like that comic,
right?
So,
right. It was like some brand.
Oh, really?
Yeah, totally.
I'm really
random.
emotionally connected with this character.
No, he was created to die, and so.
Didn't he have a red shirt on?
I don't know. But what you find out at the end of end of that little miniseries was that Cyclops had actually died at the very beginning of the miniseries when he's exposed to the Terrigen Mists, and that Emma Frost has been psychically manipulating everyone, and everyone believes that Cyclops is doing all this stuff when it's actually her, or it's actually no one. Really, she's just mentally projecting Cyclops into everyone's.
Sure, her or no one, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
Both accurate. Keep going.
So, Cyclops is killed, yes, because of the Terrigen Mist, but it's sort of it's just like an accident. He wasn't like purposefully killed by anyone.
No, it was like the aftermath. They went where the Terrigen Mist had been.
Yeah, well, like, aren't they in like a room? Isn't that when he gets sick in that issue?
Well, they go to try and save people on Muir Island.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
And Jamie Madrox is dead all over
Yeah.
the place,
Yeah.
which is awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, that sucks, but
In the efforts to save people, he dies.
yeah.
Right. So it wasn't.
He gets sick from Mpox.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that Emma Frost would be mad at the Inhumans over this, but it wasn't like they purposefully went and killed him. This is just a continuing problem that they faced with this Terrigen Mist cloud. So for a year,
they didn't know at that point that it was lethal to mutants. That's when they found out was the incident at Muir Island.
well, was that it? No, because they knew prior.
They knew prior.
No, they were already in limbo and everything. They've known that since Infinity.
Yeah, they've known it for a while.
They've been chasing, haven't they?
No, it was a discovery after it had already been circulating a while.
No, it was after Infinity, but I thought that it was way before Muir Island, because remember they were trying to like big up the Inhumans like movie coming out in a couple years, and they were trying to fight
jumped
Fox more
forward
with, like,
in time, and they talked about how all the mutants were sick at that point. Then Death of X explained what happened previously.
Because the problem is we had that Secret Wars jump.
I got that they were. I was under the impression that they already knew this was happening, and like you said, they were just going to try to save these people.
Well, I mean, because if you look at IVX and you look at Death of X, the Beast is sitting there trying to figure this thing out for a long ass time.
A year.
Like he's trying to figure it out for a long.
That's when they already time jumped, and like all these events with Cyclops were
they'd already happened.
Yeah.
Well, either way, it was not a purposeful attack on Cyclops, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So I kind of don't get. I understand that Emma Frost would be mad, but I kind of don't get the year-long war that this caused, right? Through the last handful of the last year of comics plus IVX. So to make matters worse, you've had Beast, who just in every single appearance has been continuously trying to solve this problem, and
I just kept getting flashbacks of oh god, what was that Endangered Species backup mini that was in X-Men years ago?
Yeah, that was incredible.
Where
Keep going.
it, like he was trying to jump around to figure out how to get mutants back.
Yeah.
From what had happened to them.
Yeah.
And it's like, is this the guy that just tries and tries and tries and nothing ever gets done? Like,
then you might as well not try.
Well, what makes it worse is that Beast is like punked at the beginning of IVX. The X-Men are like, fuck this, we're just going to go fight the Inhumans and get rid of the Cloud, kill them all, or do whatever we're going to do. But out of nowhere, Forge is just like, oh yeah, I can fix this.
Yeah. This is what I talked about last week.
Nowhere.
well, and the best part is Forge
like-
is like, oh, I can fix this, and then we get Moon Girl come in going, oh, I can make that smaller and more efficient.
Right. Well, hold on. We'll get to Moon Girl in a second.
That makes me so angry.
We'll get to Moon Girl in a second.
Yeah.
So they go and they go to stop the Cloud, and the Inhumans are like, hey guys, what's up? Why are you doing? You're going to stop this Cloud, but this is kind of our thing. So they all fight over this, And then, Charlie.
He discovers it because of the Muir Island incident.
That it kills him? That it hurts him?
Yeah.
I thought they already knew that they were sick prior to that.
I would have put money on. I could have sworn.
Meanwhile, responding to a distress call from Muir Island, Cyclops and his team of X-Men were horrified to find mutant scientists working there had been killed by a mysterious disease. After analyzing the atmosphere, the X-Men learned that Terrigen Mist was deadly to mutant kind.
But this shit's been floating around.
Did that panel happen to have a upper left-hand corner box that said 1 year ago?
Well, I couldn't find the issue 1, but
I swear that it was.
How had
Brock was right after they did the time jump.
Whoa!
Yes, I know, it's fun. After Secret War, there was a time jump, and when they revealed the time jump, like Cyclops was dead, nobody knew why, and
everyone knew why.
Everybody knew he was hated, but not why he was hated.
Yeah.
But they should have all known because it was a very public thing.
Well, when I mean
we didn't.
We as readers didn't. They
just
sort of established he was hated and he did something horrible, and
which he didn't. But
and this was the story that finally explains it. Yeah, which takes place.
But the mist had been floating around for years prior.
Yeah.
I swear
how many times did I say fart cloud? How many times does fart cloud go around?
Too many.
Yeah,
too many.
So
once was too many.
Yeah, as I said, the Muir Island incident was the discovery.
I'm not on next week, but give me next time I'm on. I'm going to debunk this, Charlie.
Bring it.
I am going to find proof.
Bring it.
Come hell or high water that they knew that Brock's fart cloud actually killed mutants before. I could have sworn that it happened like 2 or 3 months after Infinity. Like it was so much longer ago than just Death of X.
Well, come on, bring it, Bryce.
No, it was.
Winner gets declared best cable fan.
No, I already have that title. He can't have it. Nope.
Back to IVX. Let's get to this part of the Inhumans. So the X-Men go and to start fighting the Inhumans, which was actually okay. I mean, I like their fight, but I mean, the rationale and the reason for everything made no sense.
You said you hated every element of it because it's superheroes fighting superheroes and the X-Men are straight up villains.
They are.
No, he said both sides are straight up villains.
Oh,
no. A couple weeks ago, he said that the X-Men.
Oh, they are.
Okay.
They are. The X-Men.
But I'm saying
early
you're
issues. He said both sides.
No, what I mean, so now that I sat down and read every issue, I read them all in one big sitting. The fights were cool. I liked especially the Jean Grey Karnak little battle. That was pretty neat. But
that was awesome.
The entire setup and resolution of why they were doing this makes no sense. So they get to they get the Inhumans down, and they have the thing where they're going to destroy the cloud, and you have a little group of new humans with what's her face from the Avengers book.
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, and all those other characters, and Moon Girl and all that. And Forge makes this thing, and they destroy it. And then they're just out of the blue, they're like, wait, why are you trying to destroy the cloud? And they're like, oh, because it kills mutants. And Medusa's like, oh, well, in that case, sure, you can destroy it. What the what?
Yeah.
Just completely out of the blue. She's just like, oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, no, that's cool. I mean, it sucks, but you can destroy it. I don't care. How have they not have, like, what do you mean? What do you mean you could destroy it? You've been having this conversation, you've been having this fight for like a year, and now you're just like, well, sure, we didn't know. Yeah.
Is this exactly what I said last week?
It is a bit of it. Yeah. But we hadn't read the final issue yet. And this is how it all wraps up. So why? Like, it makes, like, the whole plot of why they fight, and then the resolution of why the fight itself was cool, but the story itself makes no sense.
Well, the thing for me is they were going to destroy the Terrigen Mists, and yet, like, it's Beast is trying to figure something out. He can't figure anything out. Forge is like, oh, I can make a machine that can do this, and the Moon Girl comes in and makes it smaller, more efficient, whatever. I'm like, why are you trying to destroy it? Why don't you just try to absorb it?
Well, that's kind of what they were doing, right? They were going to turn it into
like. What are you talking about? Forge wasn't trying to destroy it.
No, they were going to capture it and make it into like a solid form or something.
That's what I was talking about last week.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Everybody needs to go back and listen to last week's again. Anyway, look.
Dear God, sorry.
Nothing makes me more frustrated than like. Well, that's wildly hyperbolic. That's not true at all. But okay, so I also loved the fights. This had a lot of parallels to Executioner's Song, where you have a smaller group of less popular characters done by Marvel trying to escape the X-Men. X-Force was trying to go out on their own, and because Jesus,
I love how you just basically described Cable as less popular.
Then all the X-Men when Executioner Song took place, yeah, he was. What?
Cable was pretty damn popular at that point.
Which is why it was such a great story, but he was less popular than the X-Men. I don't think there's... do you dispute that?
I dispute that.
Well, you're wrong. So anyway, there was Executioner Song, which had X-Men Blue, X-Men Gold, and X-Factor all chasing after X-Force. And this is like there's a lot of parallels to be drawn where these like... And by the way, this is way worse than Executioner's Song. Executioner's Song was awesome.
Yes. Executioner's Song was amazing.
Yes.
That's where Strife comes in, right?
Yes.
Whenever
Strife
comes in.
Apocalypse,
Yeah.
fucking the Executioner, Archangel, fucking Mr. Sinister's in there. All the X teams. You had to like collect different books on a weekly basis. Oh god, the good old days. Anyway, but in this one, it's like so much more lame, even though there's a lot of parallels to be drawn. Like, there's this like small band of Inhumans that escape from the X-Men's clutches and go on to basically defeat the X-Men, which makes me so angry.
No, they don't escape from the X-Men. The X-Men are like, we don't have to care about them. We don't even know who these people are. That's what they
yeah, but that I don't have a problem with because they don't know about the new humans.
Yeah.
Because they all just occurred. They don't have data on them. So that doesn't bother me as much. What bothers me is, big air quotes there. But, Mosaic is basically, a god. Like, he's just going to take over Magneto. He's going to take over Storm, and he's going to absorb their memories. And, like, there's literally nothing anybody can do to stop it.
How embarrassing. How was that page where he's like, I got to go to the bathroom?
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that. And how about that picture that I sent you? No, that was Dennis Hopeless. That was a different X-Men related, IVX related, but not when Magneto starts talking about how fierce somebody needs to be. Medusa, you need to work on how fierce you are, or something like that.
Yeah.
I can't talk about that. Anyway, the fights were cool, but like how ridiculous was it that the setup of this, where Beast took so long to figure out that nothing can be done. And by the way, I don't even want to get to, even though I just did, that Young Beast isn't helping him. Like, they're probably almost as smart as each other.
Well, it doesn't matter because they couldn't figure it out, and Forge does it in half a second.
So
he does it in like a panel.
He doesn't even collaborate with his like intellectual equivalent. By the way, Amadeus Cho randomly is, I'm sure, still like the fourth smartest person on Earth. So why don't?
Well, if you
get
like
him to help,
Beast,
no. Can we get Tony Stark to help? No. Can we get Amadeus Cho to help? No. Beast is going to help because he has a year to take on this. He's not going to ask the young Beast to help, who's been there the whole time.
Man, if you're a fan of the Beast, between X-Men 6, Uncanny X-Men 600 and this, what a shit year for Beast fans.
Yeah.
Like, oh boy, they make him look like an idiot.
When was the last time they actually did something good with Beast?
No,
Morrison's run?
Endangered Species. No, when you look at
Endangered
Cat,
Species
fuck
was-
that shit. No.
Endangered Species sucked.
Oh, dude, you couldn't be more wrong, except for later this podcast.
We haven't even gotten to the tie-ins.
I didn't read any of those.
But dude, the tie-ins have been good, and this is what I'm gonna get to. Thank you. So, Beast, not only like, could I collaborate with my younger self and be doubly as smart? No, of course not.
Double of zero is still zero. Like, it wouldn't have mattered.
How about like, what can we do with a gaseous state? I'm not a scientist. What can we do with a gaseous state? Well, you can try to disperse it, or you can solidify it. Those are the two go-tos that I would do. And of course, he takes a year. He can't figure anything out. In the first issue of IVX, they're like, all right, well, it's going to disperse into the atmosphere. It's going to kill all mutants. Beast is like, he just realizes this, by the way, at the end of his fucking miniseries where he has a chance to, like, figure out a solution. And he's like, okay, Medusa, sorry, peace out. Then it's like, okay, so he didn't even consider trying to condense it. By the way, IVX issue 1, Forge is like, I have an idea. We're going to condense it. Here's a big machine that's going to condense it. In come the Inhumans and break the machine. Oh, hey, by the way, what were you doing with that machine? Oh, we were, trying to condense it, not destroy it. We were trying to condense your cloud. Oh, that actually would have been a good idea. And then in comes Moon Girl, who's, I'm sure, the new fourth smartest person in the Marvel Universe.
First.
No. So, where does that
Moon
say?
Girl is the smartest person
Where
in
is
the
that
Marvel
said?
Universe.
That's
in the comics.
yeah. I'm gonna riot. So anyway, I can't even begin to absorb that. Anyway, Forge's mutant power is literally to like be this technological genius and be able to like maybe not like a genius in all aspects of life, but with regards to technology, this is established. This is who his character is.
He just build tech and doesn't even have to understand it. He
exactly.
Can just build it.
And one panel in with Moon Girl, she like halves the size of his humongous cloud reducing machine.
Gives it wings too.
But does she make it like handheld or something?
No, she makes it like a drone.
She just makes it like half the size.
It's like half. It's like it's a tinier module and it flies.
Yeah. No,
versus
like
Forge's, which was like on the ground and he had to aim it. And
Forge's was like the size of a VW Bug, and hers was like half the size. Anyway, the point is that like
so a mini.
It's like Beast. You're one of the smartest people ever, and you can't think to like collaborate with literally anybody. Like he's gonna take this burden on himself. He doesn't ask Forge. He doesn't even he doesn't consult himself. Apparently, Moon Girl is an Inhuman, and he doesn't even like ask her any questions. Like, maybe he didn't even know about her. Anyway, so this is so ridiculous, and the fact that they like break it and then like ask what it was about, and then there's this like side arc that I don't know if you guys have been reading the tie-ins, which I think have actually been better than most event tie-ins, but you have Maximus going around with two supervillains trying to find a cure to the lack of Terrigen, which is to create more Terrigen, which is like, yeah, Beast, why didn't you think of trying to do that? Make more Terrigen. Can it be synthesized? I don't know, but there's plenty of geniuses in the Marvel Universe that could probably figure out how to synthesize it. And by the way, he's doing that in this like mini story arc. And I don't know if the last issue has come out yet of Uncanny Inhumans, but anyway.
I think all the tie-ins are done.
No, the one with Terrigen raining down on Maximus, I don't think that's come out yet.
Oh.
Maybe I'm wrong. But anyway, the whole idea is that he makes Terrigen from, like, just chemical elements. And it's like, so that wasn't possible either, you, like, chemist genius Hank McCoy? Like, how... Like, literally ideas that I'm thinking of, he didn't think of this whole time and wasn't able to do, but other people are doing. So that was really annoying. Also, okay, but there were some really cool elements, but should we get the complaints out of the way first? I know that Charlie wants to complain about how bad it was because he's always so negative.
Well, actually, I just wanted to say, in terms of all your points, the fact that the Terrigen didn't start as a cloud should have been a pretty good clue on what to do with it.
Yeah, yes, exactly, yeah!
The Terrigen Mist has always been contained in a unit, right?
Yeah.
They put the people in it on
it's a solid. It gets exploded into gas. Oh, well, I'm a genius. Should we put it back into a solid? This one's just puzzling me. I don't know how to... I'm a super genius, and I have Moon Girl on my side. And, by the way, a clone of... Or not a clone, but like an identical, whatever, copy of me from the past. Like, anyway, so... As I was saying, there were some very cool elements.
I liked some of the fights, but it's just they're meaningless when the story it doesn't work because there's no reason for these people to be fighting. Literally no reason for this fight to happen.
Okay, I mean, like, yeah, if you're going to disregard the fact that like they should have come up with a solution.
No, they should have said, "Hey, Inhumans, your shit's killing us. Can we figure something out?" And they would have gone, "Hey, Moon Girl, what can we do?" She'd be like, "Well, I can contain it." Okay, done. Like, it would have been a 5-second conversation.
I just wish that it would have been so simple to me that if they had just come up with a reason why it couldn't be, like, recondensed, or if it couldn't be, like, the obvious solutions, if they had just addressed those and said, you know, it can't be recondensed, it's going to disperse into the atmosphere. Like, make some reason why they have to fight. Like, in issue 1, they have Forge just condensing it to fix the problem. And Forge says, like, this isn't going to destroy it. It's going to just condense it. And then ISO and I think, is it Flint, the fire guy?
I mean, if you find out at the end of the story arc that Emma Frost was like, I'm so mad that they killed, that Cyclops is dead because of this, that I've mentally forced all the X-Men to do my bidding and to attack the Inhumans, I would have been like, okay, well, I kind of buy that.
Dude, but that's kind of what happened. Like,
but it's never implied, it's never stated or even implied that she's controlling them. She's just like, kill the Inhumans, and the X-Men are like, all right, Storm's gonna punk Beast for no reason because fuck, apparently they haven't known each other for 50 years.
Whoa,
like, it made no sense.
Storm punk Beast?
In the first issue. Okay. She zaps him. Beast is like, I'm going to get the hell out of here and go talk to the Inhumans. And Storm's like, bzzzt, and just blasts him. She's like, not today, you're not.
So the ending, I think, like, to me, the coolest thing about issue 6 was that like little panel that Emma Frost like is like ready to die in the name of like mutant kind, and
she doesn't need to.
She says something like no. But what's cool to me about it is that like it sort of shows how she's just like gone off the deep end, and that she just
when they bring the Sentinel army in to
she has a suicide
kill
wish,
everyone.
and she wants to join Scott in death. Like it adds this extra element of her relationship with Scott to me. She says something about how like, you know, finally, you know, Scott, here I come, or something like that.
But they don't play it up like that.
And then somebody like stops her from killing herself, and then she like her like going off the deep end is like further revealed by her becoming like raising the Sentinels and saying like, I was an idiot, I should have done this earlier. By the way, Inhuman Sentinels, awesome idea. How was this not thought of before?
Yeah,
like,
that was a good part.
It was a great idea.
Yeah.
And then and then at the end where she becomes like an actual villain, and you see like the full arc of her story since she was in the Hellfire, or since she was a supervillain at all, like come like fully around, and it has to do with her being mentally unhinged at some point, and the fact that she's controlling Magneto, like so there could be a whole storyline about how like, yeah, Magneto wasn't the only one.
They needed to have that in the book in that case.
Yeah, I agree.
So Emma Frost,
like her controlling Magneto was in the book, and that was awesome.
But he resisted very quickly though. With Emma
he's
Frost,
had a lifetime of being BFFs with Charles.
Yeah, with Emma Frost though, I mean, so her she's always been a villain for the X-Men, but she's always been, you know, pro-mutant kind as far as all of them.
Yeah.
With the inclusion of her into the X-Men comics during the Grant Morrison run, I mean, she's always been one of my absolute favorite parts of the X books, because she brings, like Magneto, that sort of danger, that sort of risk to the titles, because you're not quite sure where she's going to go. I don't buy her as a mustache twirling supervillain, right? I mean, that's not how she's been portrayed in the last 20 years, right? And so I buy the switch back to a degree.
Of course you buy the switch.
But I feel like this character has moved on from this point. Much like Magneto, I have a really hard time seeing Magneto as like a super villain in the Marvel universe. And you know he's going to be part of this. We talked about this last week, I think, briefly.
Secret Empire.
Secret Empire.
I'm still not sure that,
my feeling on this is if they get away from the we're endangered, we have to act as one people kind of vibe that they've had with the X-Men for a long time.
Which they said they are.
I completely see Magneto being able to turn bad again and that kind of stuff, just because then it becomes a little more conflictory between the mutants are superior versus mutants need to survive.
Well, unless things changed, he's leading the X-Men Blue team. It's like the old New Mutants. It's Magneto and the time traveling kids. So
like, to me, any of these characters, if the overall status quo of mutant kind changes again, I don't have a problem with them going evil again, because I kind of feel like Magneto's motivation, especially, has always been very, very pure. He is very pro-mutant survival, pro-extreme measures, and when it suits him, he will work with the X-Men and whatnot, because end of the day, he is not an enemy to mutants. He's an enemy to the idea that mutants and humans are equal.
I agree. But
he's an enemy. He's an enemy.
Well, he's an enemy against. Well, him and Emma Frost are to me very similar. That they don't think they're better necessarily than humans, but they want equality. And the X-Men...
No. What? He doesn't want equality? Are you kidding me? He thinks that mutants are superior. He doesn't want oppression of mutants.
Correct. He doesn't want oppression of mutants. I don't think he's like... Magneto and Emma Frost have never come off like, we are mutants and we are going to dominate the human species. They're just fighting back against the humans who are...
The repression and the oppression.
Right. Magneto is not like, kill all the humans so only mutants can be there. He's been pushed to that extreme occasionally, but Magneto's never been like, okay, rarely has he been like, kill all the...
Sometimes.
That's like Apocalypse.
A bunch of times.
That's like Apocalypse.
A lot of times.
Who's like, Apocalypse is like, kill all the humans, right?
Yeah.
That's never really been Magneto, and that's definitely never been Emma Frost's deal.
No, but they did a very good job of grounding Emma with Scott.
Oh, yeah. Loved that.
Yeah.
Without Scott, I don't mind seeing that ground gradually shift the other way. Now, mind you, the extremes is going to right now doesn't
that
really.
She's going to?
Yeah.
But Emma
doesn't really fit for me, but I have no problem with her kind of
Oh man,
teetering the other direction.
going forward, she's not angry at humans. She's angry at the Inhumans.
Yeah.
So unless they're going to just make her an Inhumans villain,
dude,
forward.
I don't even agree with that. I think that she is not angry at the Inhumans once she calms the fuck down. I think that she is. I mean, this was the third act of the Emma Frost with the relationship of Scott Summers. This is the end of the third act, and it was very well done.
Man, him pushing that phrase out of his mouth was so fun to watch because it was so painful for you.
Trying to keep it cool. So like, look, Act 1 is obviously the Morrison stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you don't want to say that it happened like when she first met him, when she was still like a villain, whether or not you use quotes around that, but like this was the end of the third act of her and Scott's relationship, and she's like being all suicidal because she doesn't have Scott in her life anymore. I thought that was, and this might be hyperbolic as well, like heroic of her. No, that's not right at all.
I was about to say that's
but
not
this
a
is
good
the
term
problem.
there.
Let me walk that back like wiretapping.
But this is your problem, though. There's now going to be a fourth act where she's a supervillain again.
No,
And
but that's
who is she?
no. But that's not a fourth act. That's a separate play, brother.
That's the next trilogy.
But who is she a villain of? Is what I'm saying. Because again, her beef.
Dude, you could
current,
go anywhere. You could have her just be like some mentally unhinged villain, full stop, because she's like out of her mind. You could have her like keep fighting for mutant kind, and
the internet will love a strong lady like Emma Frost that lost her man and now she's mentally unhinged and a raging lunatic. That internet would love that idea.
Well, I think that you're the first person to dismiss what the internet thinks. But anyway, this was a very good end bow tying ceremony for Emma Frost's relationship with Cyclops.
But it's not, because Cyclops will be back. You know that they're going to have to continue the story. That is the inherent. I love superhero comics and I love these comics, but that is the inherent problem with this switch. When you have so many years of Emma Frost being one direction, to have her go back to that previous version.
But
what?
You're crazy. She's not. She's not going back to the previous version. She's wearing all black. She's got some crazy mask. She's learned so much since the time. Who knows if the Cuckoos aren't going to be joining her? They were all joining her, and how awesome was it when the Cuckoos and Emma took over a bunch of the Inhumans? That was
so. I totally didn't realize that was the Cuckoos because they changed their hair. I don't know when that happened.
That happened a fucking long time ago. You're the worst comic book reader ever, unless the says DC in the upper right corner.
I don't remember that.
God, he's the worst. Toby's laughing at a joke that I wish was mine. So anyway, yeah. So that was awesome. Look, Emma Frost. It's a blank slate for her. She could be an awesome villain going forward. They could do terrible things with her and make her lame.
Let's actually go, let me walk this back slightly. Emma Frost has never been a villain. Emma Frost goes from
totally disagree.
Not the way she's at the end of this. She goes from mutant socialite to headmistress of a new team of mutants that want to work more in Magneto's line, which is to violently stop the oppression of mutants. Which she worked with what are they called? The
Generation X.
No. Prior to that,
Brotherhood.
no, what are they called?
The Hellions.
Hellions, yeah, thank you.
Oh, that was so good. Chris Claremont is the best. Or was the best
with Generation X attempting to influence a new generation of heroes, to then working straight up with the X-Men as sort of like, almost like co-headmistress to the entire mutant population to get everyone on the same, to now just straight up super villain at the end of this. So she's actually going off in a bit of a different. So I will agree. She isn't going back to the way she was. It's actually worse because she goes completely off the deep end.
Exactly, which is so cool because it's so intriguing. Like, where can they go? Like, a good writer can take this and do awesome things with it. Now,
and that's just not Emma Frost, though.
I won't disagree or agree because this is uncharted territory.
Yeah.
I disagree with what you said about how she was never a supervillain. I think that when she was at the Hellfire Club, you're right to say that she was a mutant socialite. There's a fine line between antagonist and supervillain.
Sure.
In comics, all comics.
Yeah.
You can call her a mutant socialite. You would probably not disagree that she was an antagonist. I would call her a supervillain and an antagonist. I do think that there's a fine line there. But I do agree that, very quickly she started phasing in towards the good guy-dom. I mean, the Hellions, you could argue, were her trying to do a good guy team, even though they fought the quote-unquote good guys, the New Mutants, right? I mean, she very quickly started phasing in, but it's just like Marvel did with Chris Claremont, I should say, just like they did with Magneto. They realized these characters are awesome. People want them to be heroes. That's why Deadpool's now a hero. That's why Magneto's now a hero. That's why Emma Frost for however long. I mean, aren't all of the Avengers once upon a time villains and now they're all heroes?
A lot of them
I mean, Quicksilver, Scarlet Witch, Hawkeye. I don't even know. Thanos now has his own book. He's not going to become a hero. Okay, it's a bad example, but
Venom.
Thank you, Tobias.
Yeah.
Got his own city even.
I don't know. I mean, let's see here. Bullseye has his own comic. He's not a hero. But anyway, my point is that there's a lot that can be now done now that they've closed that chapter of Emma's life, and they're it's kind of like when Red Skull took the brain of Charles Xavier. They're there's a lot that we can do now. It's let's close this chapter on Charles Xavier's dream. And now we can we have kind of a blank slate. How are they going to bring back Charles? You have no idea. I have no idea. It'll be interesting to see what they do, and there's a lot of potential there, and there's a lot of potential with what they can do with Emma Frost now. The contrivance of how they weren't able to deal with the Terrigen cloud. And by the way, the ridiculously elegant solution. What was it? The ships beamed out a pulse. What was it in the end? I read it on the train today. What was it?
For which one?
How they ended up dealing with the cloud today. I read it today. The last issue. How did they deal?
They just sucked it all up, and it was that was it. It was done. I don't remember specifically how they did it.
I read it today. How is my memory so bad?
I think you're thinking of Clone Conspiracy.
Oh my god, I can't even talk about that without crying. Anyway. Look, there was a lot of silliness that I didn't like about this, including how hard they're trying to push Inhumans to be the next big thing because they don't own the rights to the X-Men, and they want the Inhumans to be so much cooler. But I almost feel like it was offset with what they did to Emma Frost. Plus, having the X-Men actually have a match that they can't just fight. Oh my god, fuck it. Oh, dude. Magneto losing to Iron Man in AVX was it's to this day I lay in the fetal position and cry myself to sleep. That is just the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. And I think that Thing beat Namor underwater too. I think that was another thing. That type of shit is just such bullshit Marvel. But they didn't have any of that as badly in this one. But there were some good elements and there were some bad elements. I love what they did with Emma Frost.
Let's move on from IVX because I'm sure this is still going to play up for a while. Because
I will say this about IVX to go on the positive side. I thought a lot of the tactics that they showed in this book were actually really good tactics. It wasn't just
That's a great point.
We're going to go out and fight each other. It was nope. We're going to use our powers effectively to kidnap the Inhumans to Limbo. And
it was X-Force shit.
It was very good tactically the way the two teams encountered each other.
That's a great point. Thank you for bringing that up.
Which is much better than the tactics they showed in AVX.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. AVX was just the worst tactics-wise. Having a certain contingent go to Limbo, isolating the Royals in a certain way. By the way, like I could have a whole nother like lol fest at okay, Jean Grey, first defense against Karnak. Great, you're in his mind. He's a great physical fighter, but any HeroClix player could tell you that he's susceptible to mind control. Anyway, so let's contain him in his mind, and then we'll have the last line of defense be Phantom X. Like, don't even get me started on like what? Like
what? If you're gonna have anyone go against Karnak in a physical fight, it'd be Phantom X. He's like the X-Men version of Karnak.
What are you? What?
Phantom X?
Yeah.
He's like probably their best hand-to-hand fighter.
What the fuck are you talking about? You are crazy!
Phantom X?
Yeah, you are crazy. The only thing that Phantom X brings to this fight is that he doesn't have a nerve center because it's in Eva, who he like escapes to. The only like reason that they actually had him as the last line of defense is because he could trap Karnak in like the world or whatever, that like infinitely long like version. But it has nothing to do with like what a good like fighter he is.
What?
You know what they needed to do?
Phantom X is like the best mutant. Like, am I crazy? Like you're looking at me like you don't know this.
I'm looking at you like I'm disappointed in knowing you. Yeah. No, I'm.
Phantom X is easily one of, if not the best
hand-to-hand fighter.
Charlie, please.
Phantom X's powers are not.
So like, okay, so we're discounting Wolverine. And we're discounting because he's dead. We're discounting Old Man Logan because I guess he's too old and slow now.
Wolverine's not a great fighter.
Dude, isn't he like a freaking like ninja samurai?
I mean, kinda, but
look, if they wanted to stop Karnak, just fucking send Cable after him. That's all I gotta say about that.
Cable's not a good fighter either.
But Cable would cheat.
Wait, where are you getting that Phantom X is the best hand-to-hand fighter of the X-Men? I'm trying to. By the way, I'm only stalling because I'm trying to find like a better fighter because the X-Men aren't known for like hand-to-hand fighting.
No,
that's powers.
Phantom X is basically like. I mean,
but dude, that doesn't discount at all.
Psylocke is probably not close, but Psylocke is good. But Phantom X is always like during the X-Force stuff and during Morrison's run, he's always been portrayed as like one of the better actual fighters in the X-Men.
You know what we need? Like you know what we need to do? We just need Tom King to do his list of best fighters in the X-Men for us in the week.
It's not going to be very long.
You don't need You don't need to have like an expert mutant hand-to-hand fighter because they all have fucking laser beams coming from their eyes.
Right, which is why what he can do is way more impressive than what a lot of the other people do.
I am so angry that you are confounding me with this question because I'm sure that there is a better hand-to-hand fighter, but the only reason they have him is not because he's a hand-to-hand fighter so much as because he can trap Karnak in the world. And that is...
You do realize you have your phone there. You can look this information up.
I refuse because I'm sure that there is a better hand-to-hand fighter and that I'm just brain farting right now. The point is that Karnak can't like find a weakness in like a vast world that he can only walk out of or run out of. And so he's trapped in Jean Grey's trap and then he's trapped in the world. But if it wasn't for the world, it's like, couldn't another like mutant? And by the way, isn't Phantom X not even a mutant? I might catch a lot of flack for that, but I think that there's a good possibility that Phantom X isn't even a mutant. I think that he was some genetic experiment. Anyway.
He was weapon... What was he? Weapon...
Yeah, weapon, what, 11? Weapon 9?
Something like that.
A Weapon Plus.
He was in the Weapon Plus program, is what you mean, Higgins. Anyway, they didn't fight him against Karnak because he's the best mutant hand-to-hand fighter, bro. They put him there because of his ability to stall Karnak. By the way, it was terrible. They could have put anybody else in the world. Do you remember that awesome Rick Remender X-Force run where the world was just a thing that existed and anybody could have gone into it?
Let me a little bit here on Wikipedia what they say about Phantom X and his powers, okay?
Dude, why don't you give the rest of the podcast laptops to look at while we're talking?
Everyone has a laptop. It's in your pocket. So he can do all the reality skewing stuff. He has Eva, right? Okay, blah blah blah. But he has multiple brains.
That was awesome when Eva saves his life.
Yeah,
because Karnak he's ready to kill him, and then he's like, "Eva, can you save me?" And she does.
So he has enhanced strength.
So awesome.
He has enhanced strength, speed, agility, dexterity, durability, reflexes, coordination, balance.
Wait, I'm sorry. You were I think describing Warpath. Were you describing Phantom X?
Phantom X and endurance. He's
Warpath.
Capable of registering frequencies beyond. But that's fine. He even mentioned having a healing factor. Let's see. He can blah 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 blah.
Yeah, but
he has 3 hearts.
He's a very skilled hand-to-hand combatant and a master of stealth techniques. His title of his birthplace was Stealth Fighter. He's a superb marksman and all that stuff. Yeah, he has no like crazy eye beams or claws or any of that nonsense. He is just an incredibly good fighter.
I didn't hear anything that you say confirm that he's a mutant.
But, well, I mean, he's in the X-Men.
But like,
I mean, he's part of the Weapon Plus program.
So was Captain America.
Yeah,
and Captain America.
Is he
and I believe that one of the two of us, Higgins, was wrong about Deadpool being a mutant, and I believe that you had to eat a little crow about that.
He's a human mutant Sentinel hybrid.
Wait, what?
I think
I
think you just blew.
You just
Bryce's
said 3
mind.
words in a row. That's not even like
Phantom X was created by the Weapon Plus program to serve as a super sentinel against Earth's mutant population.
Phantom X is a super sentinel?
That's what it says.
No, you edited that Wikipedia page, you bastard.
He
Does that
claims
make
to be
him
a
an
mutant.
early version of Nimrod?
Oh.
Yeah, super sentinel.
He wishes he was that cool, and I love him.
All right, what's next?
No, don't we have to solve this?
No.
Yes,
I'm
we
sure
do.
all the listeners are like, tell me more about Phantom X, Higgins.
Oh, Phantom X is so good. Phantom X is so good. Yeah, I don't
You like
know.
Phantom X? Wait, I like Phantom X. We don't like the same things in this
This is
regard.
from the Grant Morrison run. Of course I like Phantom X.
Oh, you bastard.
Phantom X, Quit and Fire.
Oh, dude,
So
how about
good.
this?
Cassandra
I'm
Nova.
sure that nobody-
Says that with a smile.
There was a tie-in with Zorn. You gotta have loved that.
I loved real Zorn, not shit Zorn.
What the fuck?
Not-
Sorry,
not-
what the heck is wrong with you? There's like shit. Zorn was only existed in the Chuck Austin run. Zorn is back to being Zorn.
No, Zorn is Magneto. There is no character named Zorn. Zorn
Oh.
was always Magneto. That was the Morrison run. There was Zorn. Then they were like, oh yeah, by the way, he has a brother named Zorn. That this fictional this character that doesn't
if it
exist.
happened in Chuck Austin's run. That's
Hey, no,
omitted from real
they've
life.
used Zorn in like more recent comics. He's popped up from time to time. It's the
I know, and
stupidest-
I'm saying that like he was never supposed to be Magneto, Chuck Austin.
Oh no, he feels like the Morgan.
No, it's the stupidest
like what?
crap.
Morgan.
How about like if Magneto and Eric the Red and Zorn and Joseph all like formed a team and they just had a book called Magnetos? Like how awesome would that be? It'd be so good.
Let's move on real
I
quick.
want that book.
Yeah, me too.
Let's move
They'd
on.
Be so good. And
move on
any
real
one of them
quick.
could beat Karnak. By the way, just saying.
Let's move on real quick to some TV, where we're going to talk about something that launches this week. But this is, man, if there's a first big failure critically for Marvel so far.
Shut up, Higgins.
What? I'm not happy about this.
Well, might as well just watch it first and then talk about it.
I'm
instead
just
of talking
talk-
about what some people are writing about it.
Oh God! For all the listeners, Higgins is smiling maniacally.
No, I'm
and
not.
He's literally tapping his feet
look,
and
look,
shaking
look,
his
look,
hands.
Look.
He's so happy.
All the Marvel movies and all the TV shows have reviewed exceptionally well, right?
Yeah.
Iron Fist is not. Now, I actually... we talked about this on the Geek Box last night, and I
Well,
actually...
half of this reviewer want him to be Asian too, right?
Just let him finish.
So a lot of people want that.
Yeah.
I don't care either way.
Yeah.
I read a handful of the reviews from the sites that I normally go on, and
I don't want him to be Asian. How racist does that make him Asian because he's good at kung fu? What?
That was my argument on the Geek Box. It's like, well, if he knows kung fu, so if you make him Asian,
Yeah,
that's more
but
Asian people on
if you
TV.
go all the way back, though, it's a different story.
What does that mean? What?
No.
What do you mean? No.
No, he is created as a white saber character back in the 70s.
Well, okay, no.
That's just as bad as making him Asian because he knows
But that's a
ninjutsu.
fact, though.
No, and I disagree. He's not. He is not Doctor Strange. He is just another guy that knows this stuff. I don't remember Iron Fist ever being like he is the greatest kung fu master on Earth or in Kunlun. He gets his ass kicked left and right. He doesn't win those tournaments. He's not always the white savior.
He's very ridiculous.
Doctor
Iron
Strange.
Fist.
Doctor Strange, yes. Doctor Strange was given this ancient, Eastern magic and became Sorcerer
Now,
Supreme.
I'm not one that cares, actually.
Yeah.
I actually prefer him to be casted this way because this is the proper way.
Yeah. But some of the reviews are angry about that. Some of the reviews are angry that he's a rich white guy.
Those reviews.
Wait, they're mad that he's a rich white guy?
Yeah,
He's a whiny Bruce Wayne in this one.
Some of the reviews are that, the Daredevil and Jessica Jones and Luke Cage have been pretty down to earth, and that Luke Cage is that Iron Fist, is kind of
you need
other
someone
character.
to fund the Defenders.
Well,
good point, Toby.
You do.
A lot of the reviews have been critical of the show. So if the show sucks, the show sucks. But a lot of them also seem very critical of the character. But that's the character. So if you don't like that character, I don't know what to say. It appears that he is portrayed fairly accurately in the show. If you don't like that character, I'm sorry. Hopefully the reviews are accurate to what they feel the show is, and not just because they don't like the base character. I mean, no one's mad at Bruce Wayne. Everyone loves Batman, right? But Batman's a rich white guy. Tony Stark, rich white guy, right? I mean,
bastards.
Right. So, I mean, people. I don't see people saying bad stuff about those movies because he's a rich white guy. Now, if that's the case with Iron Fist, I don't know. If the show sucks, the show sucks, and it deserves.
Do they know he lost his parents?
It deserves its 14% on Rotten Tomatoes, which it currently has
14%.
I thought it was 11.
It was. It's gone up. So another positive review.
It started at 0.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It started at 0 before there were any reviews. That's crazy.
11,
what is that math?
14.
Yeah, there was a bunch of reviews. Okay. Yeah. But I mean, it doesn't have a ton of reviews. They only got reviewers only got the first 6 episodes. Maybe
maybe it's a slow burner.
Well, Luke Cage. Again, I thought was fantastic for the first 4 or 5 episodes, and then that show just tanked for me. But it got great reviews.
That much, it went down and didn't tank that much. You're over exaggerating a little bit.
The first 6 episodes are awesome. After that, you could just shut it off. After he beats, or after
how you have that opinion and think that Jessica Jones was so incredible. The exact same thing happened to Jessica Jones.
No.
Yes.
You think Purple Man at any point is as bad as a villain as Diamondback is?
Fucking amazing.
Cottonmouth is awesome, and once Cottonmouth's story is over, you stop the show and you don't watch anymore because he gets terrible in the back half. Diamondback is awful.
He was pretty bad.
The villain's awful. The whole plot's awful. Every episode was the exact same. Nothing happens. There's one episode.
Are you describing Jessica Jones?
No, Jessica Jones. Okay.
Oh, so dynamic. Let me escape from Purple Man again. What is this? Issue 11?
No,
episode 11?
Purple Man escaped from her. I will give you this. Had they... the third time was too many.
Both should have been 8 or 9 episodes.
Sure, exactly. I would have said 6 for Luke Cage, but yes. I think if Jessica Jones was 10 episodes, it probably would have been a little smoother, but I really liked it. It doesn't have this... Jessica Jones does not have the same problems for me that Daredevil Season 2 and Luke Cage did, where I felt...
Dude, if David Tennant wasn't in Jessica Jones, you'd be right there with me.
Well, of course. David Tennant's amazing. He is awesome. But
talk.
I liked...
That's part of the reason I haven't been chiming in, because, I mean...
Well, because you loved them both, so
I thought,
there.
I
was just going to... Luke Cage, I was not as hot on as I was with the other one. Like, I love Daredevil Season 2.
David
I
Tennant.
love
that's fine.
Jessica Jones. Luke Cage, just... I agree more with Ryan, but I also think, to a degree, the show was not made for me.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
You're wrong, but that's okay.
Yes, I'm wrong. The show was not made for me.
Well, despite reviews, I'm really excited for Iron Fist, because if it's Iron Fist punching people in the face, then I'm cool. I'm down with that. My hope is it's not 12 episodes of just kind of wandering around and doing nothing and an episode's worth of combat. I mean, if it's a fucking kung fu show,
flashbacks of him getting learning kung fu and all that stuff.
If it's a kung fu show, he's got to fight some fools, and I need some of that.
So I don't know. I haven't watched any trailers for it. What I am, I guess, a little concerned, is that the right word? Is that Jessica Jones had, as much as I hate your knob slobbing of David Tennant, has a great villain. Luke Cage came up with a great villain out of nowhere because he's not a real villain. So maybe they'll do the same thing for Iron Fist. But a good show or movie, in my opinion, is only as good as the villains. I mean, look at
that's been my complaint about all the Marvel movies, is that the movies I don't like have had the worst villains.
Well, despite you being wrong, I hope that they have a good villain for Iron Fist. But like in comics, Jessica Jones does have a good villain. Daredevil has a bunch of great villains. Luke Cage, I wouldn't have guessed. I think that they did a great job with Cottonmouth. And
it's all, what's his name? Toby, you know the guy's name. I don't have it up right now. Cottonmouth, the guy who played Cottonmouth on Luke Cage.
Marsala.
Yeah. Huh?
You know he's a local hero here, right?
Oh, is he? Is he local?
He played in Harvard basketball. He was part of Hieroglyphics hip hop group.
He was not.
Yeah, he was.
Oscar award winning.
Look up Prince Ali.
Suicide Squad's compatriot Marsala
Look up Prince
from
Ali.
Prince Ali.
Yeah, part of Hieroglyphics. There's music videos and everything of him.
Prince Ali, Ali Ababa.
He is fantastic.
Yeah. And he's a local basketball star too.
Dude, he's awesome in House of Cards, and I haven't seen Moonlight yet, but I mean, it may or may not have won Best Picture, so just fine. So I would actually like to see it at some point in time. I didn't realize that it was so good. Anyway, so great villain in him, not just because of the actor. Like the actor obviously like made it even better, but the writing for him as a character was great. Daredevil, I think I loved season 2 way more than anybody here. But yeah,
more than me.
Great. Anyway,
I claimed that one because it's fine.
Okay, you
this
win.
Fool over there.
Okay, I lose. You win. So I'm looking forward to figuring out if they can figure out the villain situation for Iron Fist, because as far as I know, he doesn't have any like great villains.
Iron Fist.
Yeah, that doesn't like stop him from eligibility of a good story.
Isn't
but I'm just saying
the Chinese lady from Daredevil the villain?
Supposedly, yeah.
Or one of the villains.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Well, I look forward to learning more and watching the entire thing.
What else we got?
That's it.
Brock is just so bored. Brock,
he doesn't want to talk about anything.
No, it's like
Brock just keeps trying to move us along. To something
I keep hearing the same thing over and over again and again.
Because this is an episode about Marvel, and so Brock
That's
just has
because
no
you sit
input.
right between Bryce and Ryan.
True, but it keeps repeating on both sides.
Iron Fist is out Friday. We'll probably report back next week on how Breath of the Wild's going and why I didn't watch any of Iron Fist.
25 hours in only. You're.
Oh, dude, it's like I can't believe I've only played 25 hours. Like Leanne's cracked 50 already, so I gotta.
I mean, you are literally 5% of the way through the game if you're trying to complete it 100%. According to
yeah. I've heard 500 hours.
Right, that's
100% it. Yeah.
Fuck that. I'll never play this game.
Toby's like, what the hell?
Yeah, that's way too much time.
Yeah.
You'll definitely play it.
No.
We got a bunch of questions
I'll
here.
never open it at this point.
We got a bunch of questions there from we got one for Patreon. It's from Jamie. It says, has any comic ever made you teary-eyed or even cry because it hits you right in the feels? I asked this after reading Extraordinary X-Men 17 with the girl that was dying, and I got pretty misty-eyed. I don't remember.
It was the tie-in issue with Magic.
Yeah, was it the girl in the tent where they make an honorary X-Men?
I don't remember.
Oh
this.
my god, I should not talk.
This the recent
I'm
issue?
going to make a patron upset. I shouldn't talk. I did not.
No, it's the one that tries to get Storm.
Yeah. I did not like that. I thought that was contrived. I should not speak.
He also says
Which is probably a good.
He also says the
Anyway.
DC Rebirth launch issue also hit me hard, which I will agree with. That scene with Wally and Barry was just like, oh my god.
Higgins doesn't
Higgins
cry.
honeymoon night.
Yeah, on my head.
Wally and Barry.
Yep.
Leanne's asleep. Higgins doesn't cry at his own wedding. Higgins cries.
Wally
and Barry. Yeah, I'm half a world
Wally
away.
and Barry.
He wakes up in the middle of the... What are you doing, Ryan? This is so beautiful.
It is, man. Two men just love each other so much like brothers. It's incredible. Along with Witches, which I don't get that. I've read Witches. I don't remember Witches being sad. The Snyder book and Batman Rebirth issue number 1. Now that's actually, I didn't get misty-eyed at Batman Rebirth, but that was, man, we talked about it when that book came out. What a fantastic issue.
Mm-hmm.
So I got misty-eyed a little bit when there was an issue around 1999, something about like Charles Xavier's dream being dead, and I forget, but it was pretty weak, and I must have been vulnerable.
I know you cried at Uncanny X-Men 600, but that was not in the fields. That was just because it was bad.
Oh, so bad. I probably did cry about how bad that was.
There's only one answer. I mean, there's one.
There's one answer.
There's one comic that's the answer.
One comic that is the answer.
Yep. That's We 3. That's the only comic that.
That's what?
That's We 3.
We 3 is.
That's the only comic you should cry over.
No.
The
Yeah,
animals.
It was pretty.
No.
It was the animals.
The actual
was
only
the animals.
answer for this question is the very ending of Y the Last Man. That's the only one that you should be crying about.
No, We 3.
Well, I'm going to cheat, and I'm going to take it before Charlie gets there. Justice League, the extra epilogue episode where Amanda Waller tells a story of how Batman is supposed to go in and kill this girl, and instead he sits there with the girl until she dies.
What is this?
He's talking about a TV episode
Yeah.
of Justice League Unlimited.
But I'm going to take it before Charlie. You know, Charlie is...
I don't remember that episode.
Yeah, it's called Epilogue. It's in the future.
It's the one where Amanda Waller's talking to Terry McGinnis and sharing a story of
Okay.
7 for
Batman in the
All-Star
past.
was pretty hard with Poison Ivy and the sick girl.
Of all the comics in history, the one that came out this week was making you misty-eyed?
No, it came out like
Yeah, it was
So you don't have any examples from the rest of the history of comics, but the one that came out this week hit you in the feels?
I saw that up there. I was like, oh wait, yeah.
Anyway, you
That
guys
one's
should
pretty
go
cool.
read Y the Last Man. The last issue of that will get you. I think that it's because I'm a parent now, but some of the issues of Saga,
Yeah.
I won't do any like. Okay, Charlie and Brock disagreed with me, and we're the only one with
No.
that are breeders.
I was
You didn't
agreeing.
Yeah, I'm agreeing.
I thought I said
Didn't I say
disagree.
that? No. I said
Okay.
agree. You choose agree.
I'm just so used to you saying that.
I've never ever accused you of not liking something, Charlie. You always love everything. Anyway, all of the breeders here at the table have.
What am I not remembering about Why the Last Man? Because I remember the older him and stuff, but I don't remember anything.
I mean, should we spoil it? I kind of don't want to
No,
spoil it.
don't spoil it.
Okay,
Yeah,
well
don't
we'll do
spoil
it.
any of it.
We'll do it
It's kind
after
of
the podcast.
It's a niche
because
enough comic that maybe people haven't read it, but like, look, it wasn't that like that one issue necessarily was so mind blowing. Although I think it was. It was the fact that like you go on a journey with this guy. Throughout what is it? Almost 100 issues.
Wait, why? I don't think I finished it, so do not talk about it.
Okay.
We'll talk about it after the
already decided
podcast
we were
because
not.
my brain remembers how I think it ended.
Did any of you
I'm
get some
confused.
feels during Tom King's Vision run?
Yeah, but never close to like misty eyed or anything.
I'm sticking to my Justice
I
League
really
episode.
liked it. It was a very sobering. Sorry, if you can believe that.
But that's my thing. It's like I don't have anything for me that's like. I have stuff that like gets me, like in the feels a little bit, but doesn't make me want to cry.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think that I just have a bad memory. By the way, are we still recording?
Yeah, we're still
Okay.
recording.
Well, last week I was talking a bunch, and you freaking stopped.
Oh yeah, that's amazing.
We didn't do the outro.
He does that all the time.
You know, there's actually while we're talking about the X-Men, there was something I forgot to bring up. Because someone asked me about X-Men Blue and Gold, and they have all the X-Men books coming up. They announced another X-Men title, and that's Astonishing X-Men by Charles Soule
and Joss Whedon.
and no current artist
Whatever, as long as it's not JRJR.
with Old Man Logan.
Wait, what? No, he's already part of Gold.
With Old Man Logan,
No!
Psylocke,
Yay.
Mystique,
Yay.
Rogue,
Yay.
Gambit,
Yay.
Oh, wait, this is the one that we saw the picture of.
That's the one
Bishop.
that Gabriel's been posting all the time.
Yeah.
Bishop, Phantom X, and Archangel.
So
Phantom
basically,
X is
X
incredible.
Force.
That's a solid ass team.
So basically,
Are you being
X-Force.
sarcastic? That's an awesome team.
I know that's a solid team. That isn't like X-Men Blue. It's the kids, whatever.
Fart in the wind. They're
Yeah.
kids. Get them out of here.
Uncanny X-Men, or sorry, X-Men Gold. That's a good team. Astonishing X-Men. That's a good team.
Yeah.
I'm.
Where's your trolley comment? 'Cause
There
I
is no
agree
trolley
with-
comment.
What?
Marvel is hopefully realizing, oh yeah, the X-Men. We publish those characters. Let's
I would
put out
I
some
would still
comics featuring these characters.
I would still
I-
prefer it being called X Force, but
Please,
I'm still waiting for the other shoe to drop.
We just need to
I
get-
think that these are great teams. Where is your sarcasm?
There is no sarcasm. I hope these books are all fucking amazing because the X-Men have been such a sorry state for
well, there's a
couple
little
years.
sarcasm with the blue team.
No, I mean, but that's no sarcasm. There's no sarcasm. The kids are stupid.
I'm just used to you trolling so hard. I'm like, I have to relearn you. I have to.
You forget. I really
This Is
want
Us
these
or
books to
something?
succeed. I want
Oh
them to
my
be great.
god! Have you guys been watching This Is Us? Sorry. Have you guys been watching This Is Us?
What the heck?
This Is Us.
What?
Wait, did we just?
Are we getting comic conspiracy? Are we getting Geekbox Bryce here or something? What's up? I don't know what This Is Us is.
Oh my god, it's the next show you're going to watch.
Okay.
It's designed genetically to make you cry every episode. I mean, talk about getting hit in the feels. They literally have a checklist, and they have, like, what makes people cry, and they have one of those storylines in every episode.
Okay.
It's the worst. And
I'll never watch the show then.
Is
it just like the first 10 minutes of Up on repeat? Like, fuck that.
You know, a lot
No,
of people
nothing
keep
could
telling
be-
me it's like Lost. I don't. Yeah.
Huh.
Wait, Lost?
Yeah.
The last minute
Yeah.
of Lost?
No,
Oh.
they keep telling me it's like Lost,
No,
and it's by the writers from How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah, no, it's
It's
not.
also-
God, no.
It's
Jeez,
also-
It's
no.
nothing like
Yeah, yeah.
Up or How I Met Your Mother.
And because of it,
said
How I Met
Lost.
Your Father is getting
or
delayed.
Lost.
What?
It's also why How I Met Your Father is getting delayed.
Good.
That should never come to fruition. Anyway,
Should we talk about the biggest...
Leanne is going to watch This Is Us, and you could watch it. It's sort of like, did you ever finish Gilmore Girls? You probably didn't.
I mean, I wasn't watching it. She was. I caught
Sure,
episodes here and there.
Higgins. Sure.
I caught episodes here and there. I come back and she's in college, and like I don't know what's going on. It's fine. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, that was like episode like
But
3.
I got a question here from Adam who says, "Will X-Men? He's going to pick up X-Men Blue and Gold. Will
Good
they
man.
be any good?"
He's probably
We
handsome.
don't know until it comes out.
Yeah, I'm again fingers crossed. I'm
Hopefully.
really hopeful.
Because Ryan wants some money.
The team lineups are good. The creative teams behind them seem so far to be good. TBD.
Yeah, very hopeful.
All right, next question.
The answer is yes. They're going to be incredible. Go buy them.
Except for the blue one.
Pre-order them from your LCS so that they get renewed.
Continue the Marvel love of this episode. Killing Him Softly asks, if you had to choose which members of the X-Men would be each person of the podcast.
We've done this at
Yeah,
least
we've
once
done
before.
this.
Have we?
Charlie's Beast.
Is Charlie Beast? I don't remember doing that.
Really?
Maybe
Why?
we have. I
He's
don't know.
super handsome and
We'll
smart
do it
and
again.
tall.
We'll do it again.
Higgins is Quentin Quire because he's super whiny.
What? I wish. You mean totally awesome? Cool purple hair? I wish I had cool purple hair.
I don't know.
Toby's Jubilee.
Toby's definitely Nightcrawler. Because, by the way, should I,
Not Jubilee.
should I
No,
just go through my... Because I'm the only one talking. Shocker. Should I go... because you guys aren't going. But because, like, 1 minute he's here, and then... poof, he's not here. He's in the back of the store, and then... poof, he's, like, on the... He's, like, outside. He's, like...
Bryce would be Angel.
He gets taken by Apocalypse and
Yeah.
killed.
Because he's okay every so often, but then he just turns into this tirade
turns
rant.
evil.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I might give you that.
And I was saying, he looks fairly decent as a man, so, you can fill that
You
role.
look fairly
decent as a man.
I'll take that. I'll take that.
No homo, Brock. No homo.
Who is I don't know who Brock is. Who is Brock? Brock.
Could be that Colossus. Just that.
No, he's not Colossus.
stoic.
Wait, is the Nightwing,
Nightwing.
fucking Nightcrawler a German joke with because my accent?
No, because
Yeah,
like,
are you sure?
That's why I said
No.
Jubilee. That was the racist comment.
It's
Oh, fuck you.
It's because you're super quiet, and then like we'll be recording a podcast, and then poof, you won't be here, and we'll be like, where the fuck is Toby? And then poof, Justice League Unlimited cartoon is awesome. Oh, it's so good. Oh, more He-Man.
Don't fucking
then
joke
you're
about
gone again.
He-Man.
Exactly. Who is Brock? This is killing me.
I have no idea.
While this is killing you, let me move on to this next
I
question.
Wait, does
So,
nobody else have anything to say other than Brock?
I'm waiting for the joke of Puck, right?
No,
You're not
you're
short,
not
though.
agile enough or short.
Sasquatch?
Maybe Sasquatch. You are big and hairy and lumbering, and I don't know how coordinated you are. Because I don't have any idea how coordinated you are.
Bryce is totally like the
X-Men.
Cyclops of the podcast.
The villain, nice, Higgins, you bastard.
Generic white guy.
A generic white guy, super boring. When I want to, I can be super emo, but always hooks up with the
am I,
hottest
Charlie, on the
X ladies. I'll take that one now that I think about it more. I will absolutely take that one. Maybe Charlie should be Sasquatch. He's way hairier than you,
Well, here's a question
and he's
from Dominic.
bigger.
This
I don't know
question.
who Brock is. Who is Brock? Should I make Brock Quentin Quire just to piss you off?
What?
Higgins is probably one of the cuckoos.
That's cool. The
Whiny-
red haired, the black haired one, or
No, the
blonde
black haired
now?
one, the whiny emo bitch.
Okay, there you go.
Damn.
It's from Dominic. He says, and this actually goes back to the Iron Fist conversation, which is good timing. He says, why must everything online be only the best or worst thing of all time?
It's hyperbole. We
Iron
played up
Fist
on the
ratings.
podcast because it's good radio.
Well, no. This is outside the podcast.
because that's how Ryan operates.
No, but it's the same as the podcast,
Well,
which is that critics, especially on aggregators like Metacritic and Rotten Tomatoes, give whatever opinion that they have, and then it's either interpreted as a 1 or a 0.
Correct. One of the other things he brought up was Jimquisition. I don't know if any of you guys know what this is. He's a video game reviewer, and he gave one of the rare non-perfect scores to Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild that just came out. Well after release, his arguments, I feel, are mostly ridiculous.
Shocking.
They're common complaints by people online that have not actually played the game. I believe he has played the game, but they are wrong. Like, just full stop, they are wrong.
A damning.
I mean, he gave it a 7 out of
Review.
10, which is still like a good review, but that rare, not perfect score, which of course tanked its Metacritic from a 98% to a 97%.
What?
Yeah,
a whole percent?
It was tied for the best. It is the most perfect reviews of any video game in history, and it was tied for the second best reviewed game of all time.
With The Last of Us?
With a couple other games that were at 98%. Ocarina of Time was 99%, the only game higher. But it actually had the
There's
most.
no way it's better than Ocarina of Time.
It actually had the most perfect reviews. Of course, there's a lot of hyperbole about this guy being an asshole or whatever. But I mean, obviously, he's a reviewer. I don't really care. But I do. This whole idea of things are either the best or the worst is not a new thing. This has been the last decade. All reviews have been like this. I feel like this wasn't always the case. It wasn't always the best or the worst. But we have turned to this very, like you said, with the aggregators, this very binary good or bad.
We have to top 10 list, top worst list.
Well, there was.
Right?
There
we
was
don't
always,
have the list of what are 10 things in the middle of the road that you like.
Well, there are always,
No, they're called hidden gems.
there are always 2.5-star movies and 3-star movies and 2-star movies, but I feel like it's good or bad. Like people don't want that shade of gray anymore. And the fact that
just see it or don't. Not see it in the movie theater, rent it.
Well, dude, that's exactly why. Marvel movies. Every Marvel movie, the worst Marvel movie is better than any DC movie. But the point is that all the Marvel movies,
I would disagree with that.
Are shockingly are catering to what you're saying.
Yeah.
That, like, as long as
the current Fantastic Four, the more recent Fantastic Four movie,
Marvel Studios movies. Don't be a troll.
Iron Man 3, Hulk.
Iron Man 3's supervillain was retconned to
Hulk?
in that
Hulk?
jail scene
Hulk?
to have an actual. I like how. My point is that all of the Marvel movies are
bonus features on Blu-rays don't count. Except for when it's the extended edition.
But they do. It's part of the universe. If this is a DC movie,
Totally trolling.
I mean, dude,
Bryce didn't hear
You're
it.
like just like
He didn't hear
adding
it.
like
He didn't hear it. He didn't hear it.
What are
It's
we
fine.
at?
It's
Fucking
fine.
fire.
Should I go back and listen to my?
I said bonus features on Blu-rays don't count, except the extended cuts. So that
I
maybe
was just about to bring that up.
And he
Thank
does it with the biggest fucking smile ever.
I looked at Toby and gave him a
Yeah.
wink.
Yeah,
my
but he was
point
just
is
doing
that
that so Toby's Daredevil director's cut count.
Oh, that totally counts.
I mean, there's like somebody in Disney Studio that is like, look, we're not going to make 100% movies here, but if we can make all of our movies be better than 60%,
Well, this goes
then
back
it
to
will be 100% because people care about Rotten Tomatoes and Metacritic so
go
much.
back to video games. There is that idea that
By the way,
a
all
lot
Marvel movies are 100%.
a lot of studios have. They're like, we're going to make an 80% game on Metacritic. I mean, that is our goal, and that's what the suits put down. They're like, as long as this is 80%, we don't care. Like,
Is Metacritic, what is the barometer? On Rotten Tomatoes, it's 60%. To be a 1 or a 0.
I mean,
what is it on Metacritic?
I don't know what it is. It's Metacritic's different. Metacritic is just an aggregator. There is no
that's
there
what
is
it
no
was.
fresher rotten. It's not a good or bad.
What bums me out?
Well, is it 50%
Is what
on Metacritic? Like, what makes it a 1 or a 0?
there is not that on that doesn't exist on Metacritic. It just comes with the score, but they weigh those scores really heavy, so it does sink very quickly with negative reviews.
Okay, that seems.
But there is no
Why is this so
fresher.
popular?
There's no fresher rotten like Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay.
Well, I'm just bummed because once the word is out, it's really hard to convince people to watch it.
Right,
Even if
right.
it's good. I mean, look, if Iron Fist is bad, it's bad, right? But if Iron Fist is actually good, this will get nobody to watch it now.
They'll never release numbers, but Iron Fist will be hugely popular.
No, but
despite what Ivan says,
back to John, going back
Tomatoes
to,
is actually awesome.
No, go back to John Carter. The majority of the public thinks it's a shit movie.
Yeah.
Me and a whole bunch of other people that have actually watched it really enjoyed this movie.
Yeah.
Like, really enjoyed.
John Carter's fantastic.
And
but
only thing
general
that really,
public will go, it's a shit movie, without even seeing a minute of it.
Right.
what bothers me is those same people will completely shit talk the movie having never seen it.
Yeah.
Well, this is the problem
Fuck
with
those guys.
Well, you have a case of John Carter.
Most of the people are going to go to these sites and say, like, the average... So, yeah, for you and a bunch of other sci-fi loving people are going to love it because you're predisposed...
no, there's plenty of sci-fi movies
John
I don't
Carter
like.
got screwed because everybody started reporting how big a flop it was, not based on
Okay, I haven't...
ratings, and then everybody latched on to...
I haven't seen it, and I have nothing to say about it. My point is that, like, the point of aggregators is to inform the Joe X over here. Like,
Yeah, but I think sometimes the jump up, he just batters back for no reason.
And if every other Joe X likes the movie, I mean, because for every science fiction loving nerd that's going to go see this, you're going to get the science fiction hating nerd, and so it's going to average out in some capacity. And so that's why aggregators exist and are popular.
So to me, the bottom line of the reason why I think things have gotten to the point where it's either good or it's bad is there is so much content out there. Do you want to waste time on something that's mediocre, or do you want to focus on the stuff?
I could totally disagree with you, Bryce. Aggregators are not there to know if something's good or bad. They're there to give lazy people an answer. An immediate answer without any context for what they're actually looking at.
Yes.
No, well, that's not disagreeing with me. I agree with you. It's for average person X. My point is, Toby is a science fiction loving person, and it's going to be balanced out by science fiction hating person X. So for the average person, it's going to give you a great review.
The average
and
person
if you're not an average,
watch the movie.
Right, exactly. If you're not an average person, I mean, how many people are on our Facebook group talking about how much they love all your crappy DC movies? They're not average people. They're people that love
well. Suicide Squad doesn't make 800, 900 million without average people going to see it. Batman v Superman doesn't make that sort of money without average people going to see it. These movies are way beyond.
Are you suggesting that my argument is that average people didn't go and see these movies? What?
So
you just said if average people would look at the reviews and not go. So terrible movies make tons of money constantly.
Because average people will, of course, go. I'm just saying that the aggregators are there to help persuade or dissuade the average person. Of course,
but it apparently doesn't matter.
So
I think a lot of normals are not going to watch Iron Man. I mean,
wait, are you saying...
Iron Fist, not Iron Man.
Are you telling me that you think...
I guarantee you right now, a lot of people, because of this news, are not going to bother with Iron Fist.
I totally disagree. I think anyone that watched the others will watch this. Luke Cage did huge numbers.
There's a lot of them fell off with Jessica Jones. There's a lot of them that didn't even bother with Luke Cage.
So...
You don't talk to normal people, Ryan.
Okay.
All the people that come in here are nerds.
No.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Week one...
Charles is talking. Be quiet.
The reviews don't matter. Week one is going to bring in however many people are going to watch it week one, regardless of what the reviewers are saying.
People
Longevity will be based on how many stars people are giving it on Netflix.
Correct.
Whether or not people want to do that. If everybody gives it a 1 star on Netflix and it comes in at a 2 star, when people are browsing around Netflix, nobody's going to watch it. If after week one it's in at a 4.5 stars, people are going to watch it. The aggregators might be a indication on, for a small percentage of people, how quickly they're going to sort of pay attention. But it's not going to greatly affect it one way or another. Just like
goddamn auto-playing fucking screen.
You want Bleeding Cool
Just-
again?
I don't want Screen Rant.
just like everything else. Just because something makes a shit ton of money doesn't mean jack shit, because there's going to be a certain amount of people who go
DC
week
movies.
one.
Yeah.
Well, I can guarantee you, a lot of my coworkers are reading this review, not even going to bother. They're not going to bother. They're just going to go, no, it sucks. I read it online.
Well, okay. I think what it is we've come to the point where, again, Charlie said there's so much out there that people want that quick, easy should I watch this? Should I not watch this?
Yeah.
Is this up my alley? Is this not up my alley? It's that whole thing of, I mean, I get it all the time when I come in here. People are like, well, what should I read? And I'm normally of the inkling of trying to get about 3 things that would interest this person. But I know for a fact that they're only going to go with one normally, because they want something quick, they want something easy, and they want to.
That sounds like a salesman.
Yeah, well, Julian hates my sales techniques, but that's okay. The fact is that we're in a society now that it's instant gratification. We want something to be good. We want to know within an instant whether or not we should. I mean, how many of you guys scroll through the Amazon reviews on things that you're going to buy, to figure out exactly if this is something you're gonna want?
So Amazon reviews are a little bit different for me most of the time.
They are different.
Like the reason why I said specifically Netflix and the stars is, I think the average person, you're normal as it is, they're surfing through Netflix. They're going to just pay attention to what the stars are. They're not going to spend the time to go jump somewhere else.
Yeah, you have the
see.
same thing with Amazon. They're not going to look at the thing that has 3 stars over the thing that has 4 stars.
Depending on what you're looking at on Amazon,
that's true.
You will go read what the negative reviews actually
that's the
say.
first thing I do.
Yeah,
I go straight, and then it could be a crazy person, or it could be a one-off.
If it's somebody bitching about the price and it's highly discounted, guess what? I disregard that particular negative review.
This is where I have to agree with you, is that Amazon, yes, 100%, I agree with you. I actually read the reviews on Amazon. Netflix, I'm trying to remember the last thing I saw on Netflix that wasn't less than 4-point something stars.
I don't remember
It
any
seems like
original
everything.
shows.
Like, fucking Marco Polo is over 4 stars.
No, Netflix originals. I don't see any bad reviews on those.
Everybody just defaults
And
to
I want
Netflix 5 stars.
and I want to go to
because it's you use your Apple mouse or whatever to like just click 5 stars.
So
Amazon, you actually have to like write a review.
For the first time in a long time, I actually watched something that was only like 3 stars or 2.5 stars,
which was original.
It was a Netflix original.
What is it?
It was the David Brent.
Oh God, that was terrible.
Rock on the Roll or whatever.
Yeah.
I watched.
I loved The Office.
Yeah, that was.
Loved The
As soon as I saw what it was, I'm like, well, I have to watch it regardless of the stars.
Me too. Hated it. 4.9 stars was it?
No, it was lower than that.
Guess what I'm watching on Netflix now? Fucking Ultimate Beastmaster, yo!
I want to counter what Toby said earlier, because Luke Cage was their second highest rated show ever for Marvel, above Jessica Jones, above Daredevil Season 2, and the 5th highest rated Netflix show of 2016.
Okay.
It was better than Jessica Jones.
Yeah. It had higher. You said people dropped off. It's the opposite. More people are watching these shows. A lot
of people didn't watch Jessica Jones from the normals.
Okay. Again, you are misunderstanding. The people you talk to versus the people I talk to versus online data that I am sourcing. People are watching all these shows. Luke Cage will do huge numbers.
This is the thing.
Sorry, Iron Fist.
Iron Fist will do huge numbers. These reviews are mostly meaningless.
I hope
it is crazy.
No, I
see.
really do hope so. I don't want this to become a John Carter. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So are you saying
that's all I'm saying.
Are you saying this is just because of the perpetuation of the brand?
Yeah, of course,
possible.
because it's the next Marvel show.
Yeah.
It's
just crazy to me. I don't not believe you. Like if you're telling me this is how it is, I believe it. I'm just shocked that the quote unquote normals realize like, oh, Luke Cage.
Of course,
this is like the same thing.
They don't know Luke Cage. They don't know Luke Cage. No, but it's Marvel's Luke Cage that they know.
Right. No.
They don't know Iron Fist. The normal down the street doesn't know fucking Iron Fist.
Okay, so you're saying it's Marvel branding as opposed to Jessica Jones. Oh, Luke Cage. That's
they didn't
Jessica
fucking
Jones.
know Jessica Jones. None of these fuckers knew Jessica Jones.
So
okay.
So Netflix, the way they do things, you will launch your app, you'll see a big thing saying now playing Iron Fist.
Yeah. It'll say Marvel's Iron Fist, and you click play. I mean, it's going to do huge numbers. I don't like this idea that people won't watch this show is mind-boggling.
Now,
Reviews
what I'm super curious about is Netflix previously has released numbers around like drop-off points and that kind of stuff. I have no clue what the drop-off points on the Marvel shows are. I'd be really curious.
I'm sorry, what do you mean drop-off points?
That's when they stop watching.
So they will literally do a like
Higgins
there's a fall off from episode 1 to episode 2, episode 3, and then they also have that tipping point to say typically if they make it to this episode, they will watch the rest.
Okay.
I have no clue what those rates are like for the Marvel show.
They don't talk about it.
I'm not even sure how valuable that data really is,
Oh,
because
it's really
every show
valuable.
is so different.
No, it's really valuable. That's why
Well-
Netflix keeps all of that stuff for themselves.
Yeah, no Netflix stat is public. They don't talk about any of this.
Yeah,
Well,
but
they put
sure
out
as hell use
stats
that,
like
though.
that
Oh, of course.
a while back for various shows, just to sort of talk about how they determine.
I'm sure on a case-by-case basis, but that's nothing they announce publicly. Netflix
No,
doesn't talk public numbers.
not all the time. I just remember, like, I read this a while back when they were sort of explaining some of the stuff they look at, and they talked about like Breaking Bad and how they did that kind of analysis on Breaking
Sure.
Bad that said if you make it to this episode, people tend to finish it. If you make it to, and I'd be super curious just in terms of the Marvel shows, not necessarily how many people started to watch it, but if they have numbers to say this many people finished it.
Because they're single seasons, I would assume Marvel has a 95% completion rate. I can't imagine people drop
What?
off. I think you're in or you're not. Most of these shows, because
Dude, that is the comic book store owner's answer.
no,
There's
when you
no way
when you
it's
come into Breaking Bad,
95%.
it's 5 seasons. When you come into these TV shows that are long, 5, 6, 7 seasons or whatever, the way the Netflix shows are set up, especially through the Marvel shows, it is like a continuing show that goes from show to show to show. If you start a season, I would think the vast, vast majority will finish that season.
Dude, as a comic book lover, I had to make like a concerted effort to continue both in Jessica Jones and Luke Cage beyond episode 6 or 8.
I didn't say 100.
But you finished.
But I am their target audience. Like, imagine all, as Toby says, the normals.
But again, you're the target audience. You didn't like them because you know the comic books. The target audience has no basis for them, so the
I think
problem.
a lot of the normals turned that shit off.
But they didn't, is what I'm saying. Netflix crashed when Luke Cage came out.
Yeah,
because of
for
how
the first
popular
few
it was.
episodes.
yeah.
I think
You're saying
I think
that
you're dead wrong.
95%
I
of
think-
people
I think
that
you're both
started
wrong.
episode 1 finished it?
Of Luke Cage and Jessica Jones and Daredevil, I think so. I think these shows.
Okay, can we go to the next question?
Does anyone we
I don't
listen to
think
us
so.
work for Netflix and you just
They're not
give us
going
a
to
little
fucking
bit of
tell
their-
us.
No,
I
you
mean, we
can't.
can all
You
guess what
can't.
we want.
Yeah.
We could have just agreed to disagree here, but they're not
They
gonna tell
would
us.
not have 2 of these.
They're not
going to
fucking publish negative shit,
If
though.
Daredevil-
That's bad PR. They would never do that.
No, it has nothing to do with PR. If
Yes, it does.
No, listen. If Daredevil, Jessica Jones, and Luke Cage did not have a completion rate like that, there would be no season 2. There would be no Defenders. There would be no Iron
Well,
Fist.
I'm waiting for Luke Cage season 2 to be announced.
There would be no Iron Fist, and there would be no Luke Cage.
No, those were signed on to begin with. Seasons 1,
They could have changed them at any point. Daredevil season 2 wasn't.
but they have a master plan.
So
It'll be interesting to see what survives after Defenders, though.
So if I had to anecdotally guess, because I know about as much as you, which
And
is
I
to
want
say-
all these shows to,
Whoa!
Toby
just
shows to do really
exploded.
well. I'm not saying I'm not trying to talk negatively of these shows. I want them to do fantastically.
Anyway, let's move on to the next question. We go from Timothy. This is for me. He says, how do I break up with my comic shop? I plan on dropping all my singles within the year for cost and space reasons, but I sort of feel bad. Timothy, here's how you do this. You walk into your local comic shop and you say, I plan on dropping all my single issues within the year for cost and space reasons. I kind of feel bad, but I have to do this. Your shop owner, unless they're a total dickhead, will be like, thank you very much for telling me in advance. Especially if you give them 2 months' notice, they can adjust all their orders for future issues. Make sure you pick up everything they currently have on hold for you. Don't order anything if you don't want it. And that's it. Don't just not show up one day. That is the absolute
That's
worst.
the worst, especially
Yeah.
when you have a half a box full.
Right. If you can't get
That's
books
why I'm still
anymore,
employed here. Fucking Rango's like, Toby, you still have a half a box you have to work off. Come back. I'm like, all right, you got me.
If you we lose subs all the time, and the ones that are like, hey, I just have to stop, they are always welcome back. The ones that just disappear, they are not welcome back in the store. I will never open a box for them again if they come back, because they stuck me with this stuff. The guys come in, clear out their box, tell me, hey, I need to stop pulling stuff. Totally understand. And I have absolutely no problem with these people if they come back. I would love for them to come back. But if you stick them, that is the reason why shops have so much trouble if you have a subscription box and you stick them with hundreds or thousands of dollars of comics. It happens all the time, and it sucks. So don't do it. We don't live on huge margins. We don't live on a ton of money. Most shops,
almost all shops.
Sadly, some of those guys were actually really good customers for many years, and then they just fucked it at the end.
It always happens.
Yeah.
People something happens, and even if you have a stack of books and you can't pick them up, I would much rather you tell me that you can't pick them up than just never return my phone calls.
That will never happen.
It has. Once or twice I've had someone come in and say, hey, I lost my job. I know I've got a stack of stuff. I can't afford it.
Okay, has that happened more than once?
Couple times.
Yeah.
But the vast majority of times people just don't show up. And again, same thing. At least I know, because I'm wondering week to week what's going on. Are they going to come back? Are they going to call? I mean, these days I cut people
the thing is,
on a drop of a hat.
So I just feel like sharing this just because I can. So when I started shopping at this shop, I had a good paying job and all that. I was coming in every week, and when I lost that job for quite a while, I was coming in when I could, picking up books, and Ryan worked with me very, very well as long as I kind of kept him informed in what was going on would come in and buy what I could when I could. Honestly, just treat people like human beings.
Yeah.
If you try and figure out ways that you can pick up some and cut back and all that, most people are going to be willing to work with you because they want to keep you as a customer.
Well, the thing is
when you stop treating them like human beings, they're going to say, fuck you, we never want to see you again.
Well said, Charlie.
The thing is also, I mean, for letting you know, if you can't get those books, you can put them out, and they have a higher chance of selling instead of sitting there for a month or 2 months or whatever. Like, you could sell that book and get rid of that book faster.
All right.
And the thing is without that knowledge, and the thing was like giving them 2 months, when you need to stop, your pull will stop at that point. When you say I can't do it, I'm going to be phasing out or done. That's like boom, from this date forward 2 months, I got to pick this stuff up, and what you can pick up and what what you can't.
Yeah.
So, and then that gives the shop owner the ability to FOC those numbers down, so everything's fine.
Yep. We got two more.
Okay.
We got one from Mike. Says, any thoughts on the news of the Russo brothers? Guardians? No, Winter Soldier and Civil War.
Oh, that's right.
And Infinity War.
Producing a Quantum and Woody TV show after Avengers Infinity War and its sequel.
Really?
That was announced today. Cool if it happens.
Wow.
I love Quantum and Woody. I'd love a TV show of Quantum and Woody. Valiant comic. Christopher Priest is the writer on that. M.D. Bright is the artist. Fantastic series. Hopefully it's based on the original, not the current. Nothing against the current. Just the original was one of my favorite comics of all time. But yeah, I mean, it's awesome if it happens. We don't know. And this feels like a question for Bryce. I mean, all of you can answer, of course, but because Bryce just brought it up a little bit ago. Last question for the night. Random Geekdom asks, will Saga ever get to the point?
Yeah, dude. Look, Brian K. Vaughan has a well-recorded track record
of never getting to the point.
No, he does.
What do you
for 60 issues?
He has a master plan.
What? I'll take 60 issues.
I'm
being an ass. Yeah, sounds about right. If every story had a 60-issue arc, comics would be an entirely different and more awesome medium. I mean, like, Paper Girls could take 60 issues to tell its story, and that's awesome.
I'm way far back on Saga, so I can't comment on the last year or two of it. But I've heard this from multiple people that it is sort of just like spinning its wheels and isn't progressing a story. Paper Girls, I feel, is progressing a story, but we're still early.
Yeah, first of all, Paper Girls has like a dozen issues out. People were tugging on Saga's dick at 12 issues. Like, how is that even like?
No, that's what I'm saying.
Thing. Anyway, look, I compare everything that Brian K. Vaughan does nowadays, I guess, to his past work. So I look at Runaways and I look at Why the Last Man, and I look at the fact that both of those took dozens of issues to tell their story, and they were awesome. Both of those were awesome. And so by the time he gets to it, like, the story has been told, and like spinning its wheels, like this is a story of it's Hazel, right? The child? Mm-hmm. Nobody knows except for Brock. Thank you, Brock.
Well, I read Saga.
Yeah, you and me both apparently, except for Marvel Quest Boy over here. So this is a story of Hazel, and like it's a coming of age story, and it's like pun, I guess not intended, about like it's her saga of just her life, because it's quite a unique circumstance that she's found herself in. And so it's going to take Brian K. Vaughan like dozens of issues to tell the story. She started off unborn, and she is now like, getting to be, she's not a teenager yet, but yeah, she's like, she's single digits, but like getting towards the end of those, I believe.
The thing is at its core, Saga represents, the changes in life that you go through when like you start a family. And that's the thing is you have the two kind of star-crossed lover theme that goes along with her parents. But through the course of this, they have their ups and downs like any normal relationship. It's just the background to this is this weird, crazy-ass world filled with science fiction and magic and fantasy and bad authors who people, follow for like cult leaders or whatever.
It's a very minor part.
Yeah, but it was still funny.
Yeah.
But the thing is it's building to... The story's growing as you're reading it, and it might feel like it needs to get to the point, but the thing is what point does it need to get to?
Yes, exactly. I don't know if I've ever agreed with Brock so much. Like, at what point do you need this to like, I guess, funnel down to some like specific thing that you needed to get to? Like, this is a story that we're all going through together. It's very well written. It's exceptionally well drawn. And the whole story is a metaphor for parenthood. If you're not a parenthood and you're like bored with the story, sorry, I'm not sorry. But there's a fucking million other comics out there. Just go read a different one. Like, it's a great story. It's a metaphor for parenthood and for journeys in general, whether or not you're a breeder. By the way, I don't know if this has been documented, but I say breeder because that's what Higgins calls those of us the parents.
I said it once. It's a joke.
No. You say it a lot.
You do say it a lot.
You say it a lot.
I back fucking Bryce up
You
on that
say
one.
it a lot.
Okay, Brock and Toby have my back. The point is that I don't think that Higgins says it derisively, and I never thought that he has.
He doesn't really say it to Charlie, though.
I think that he...
Yeah, you really don't say it to
In his
Charlie.
own-
He has 3 of them. You know that, right? And a dog.
No, but Charlie having kids makes sense.
What? Why?
It totally makes sense.
Oh, wait. Here we go.
I don't get it.
You guys are weird, but him makes total sense.
Because he loves everything.
No. Like Charlie's
That
always
means
had
he loves
kids.
his children.
I think it is just, I met Charlie. He had kids, so he has kids.
No, I did not have kids when you first met me.
I don't remember that. I don't remember that far back.
Drama.
But-
Ryan Higgins is getting voted out of Big Brother.
I mean, I know you didn't have kids when I met you, but I don't remember that long ago. So
I think
you've
when I
always
met
had
you,
kids?
I at least had one of them.
Okay, boring. Anyway,
Then the other 2 came.
look, so...
Unless the 2 and then the 3rd
So
one.
Saga will get to its point, unnamed questioner, that it was actually named. It's just going to take a while, and you just need to like decide. Like, if you're bored because it's not getting to the point, air quotes, to you, then drop it. There's so many. So I just read The Old Guard. I'm sure that Charlie and Brock have read it, and nobody else has. Rucka's new book. They're both nodding. Toby and Higgins can't be bothered.
Oh, we sold out on number 1. I haven't just read it yet.
There's a warrior game on, okay?
Great call, Bryce. So anyway, very good book. Maybe that's the one for you. It just came out. Number 1, it was a good read. If you're bored with Saga, there's so many other good comics.
Well, it also depends on, I think, how you're reading
Maybe
Saga.
he's reading it because it got reviewed really well.
I just... sorry.
No,
I disagree with that. I
The
see what
thing
you're
is,
saying.
I enjoy reading Saga single issue. I like it. But I can see where, kind of like with Walking Dead, I prefer Walking Dead in trade format.
I see.
Where I get like 6 issue chunks of Walking Dead. Charlie reads it in like 12 issue chunks.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I know exactly what you're saying.
Is it 18?
You buy the
No.
big hardcovers?
Those slipcases are 24.
Oh, the 24?
Oh,
the 24.
Put your dick back in your pants, Charlie.
But I'm still waiting for Ryan to reorder number 6.
Anyway, so Saga, he wants Saga to get to the point. I say, Saga's getting to the point. Just be along for the ride, or go find another comic book. Like Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples won't take offense. Like, there's so many good comics out there that aren't named Marvel, and especially not named DC. That
Go
are
read
like,
Why the Last Stand.
Why the Last Man was incredible, but
Yeah.
it's a little old.
Who cares? If you never read it before, it's new.
If you haven't read it, I highly recommend Why the Last Man. But anyway, yeah, will it get to the point? The answer is yes.
Okay. I mean, yeah, it'll end at issue 60, and then hopefully it gets to the point by then. He loves 60 issues.
Dude, look, that story could go until Hazel is 10,
Or old
30,
hag.
60. It could go until she's dead. Like it's only been for what, going on 3-4 years?
40 somewhat issues for like issue year 5, 4 or 5.
Okay, so 4 or 5 years, and she's gone from 0 to. Okay, I thought she was closer to 10. You think she's 5. The point is,
Well, the thing is,
several years have passed, and they could go.
They
Like,
jump age twice in the book.
exactly.
I thought
yes.
Toby was looking at something Star Trek.
What?
Doesn't look like...
It's McDonald's true story of warrior history stuff.
It looks like Starfleet Academy's like San Francisco symbol on like a
Higgins,
like a
what the fuck?
Starfield in
Worst
the background.
radio ever. What are you doing?
With like a he's on like a yeah. Okay, now now it's basketball.
Oh my god.
He's the one watching the basketball game while we were recording.
Yeah, thanks for the
Yeah,
interruption.
it's
That was
fucking on while we were recording. You want me to
It's
skip
Saga. It's
recording
Saga. Everyone
and sit at
reads
home?
Saga.
that was good radio and helpful. Anyway, so Brian K. Vaughan
This is Jim Barnett, by the way.
is a great writer. I do agree that he has he takes the long road to tell his story. And if that's not for you,
Maybe that's
go
why
find-
Bryce likes him so much. I
Yeah, that's probably true.
am of the
Go read his stuff, or if you don't like it, then fair play. Go read something else. There's tons of good stuff out there.
I feel that the vast majority of independent books these days are, and for the past decade probably, have definitely been written for the trade paperback. I have moved nearly. I basically buy all my Brubaker stuff, but I read them when they're done. Like I don't even bother reading them until they're finished. I haven't read so many independent comics because I'm like, yeah, I got like 4 trades.
well, the
I'll
problem
print them
is you don't
someday.
know if they ever get finished.
They all will. All of this stuff for
non-player.
that's if it's Rucka, Brubaker, Fraction,
Yeah, that's like
Wood.
a bad exception.
Brian Wood.
No, but there's a lot of like independent
Remender.
books where I was excited and I'm like, I don't think I ever finished.
No,
or you just didn't order it anymore.
the big
That's
ones
possible too.
That's
You're like,
possible.
I like how you didn't follow up, but you're blaming him for it.
huh?
Brian
Yeah.
K. Vaughan, BKV, all these guys will
There's
finish
a lot
their
of books he
product.
stops ordering even though I'm buying them.
So, but at this point, I've moved almost my entire independent, my entire independent reading over to trade paperbacks because it's just I find it reads so much better that way. And Saga may be a case where that you probably want to do that. So,
Yeah.
You know,
Did Fables ever end?
yeah, well,
Oh, yeah.
they're talk about a book that was great for so long and then spun its wheels for 4 years.
Yeah.
Fables was fantastic for like 90 some odd issues, and then it just
Then we got to like the Babes in Toyland and the superhero
nothing
stuff,
happened for like
and then it was like,
arcs and
we're gonna
arcs.
end, and you're just like, get it done already. It's
Again,
like,
I
we're
have,
gonna
like-
end with 150.
I have like 4 trades that I haven't read of it, including the last issue, because I just got so
You mean the last trade?
bored. Right, including the last trade, which is also an issue. I just got so bored with Fables. I loved it for years and years and years. It
Yeah.
was one of my favorite comics, and then
Well,
just
that's why I'm curious because I
just-
stopped reading it.
spun its wheels and nothing happened for 4 years.
Who's behind that?
Bill Willingham? Yeah.
Interesting. What was that Unstoppable and Irredeemable book that I loved?
Yeah, Incorruptible, Irredeemable.
That was
Those are
Wade.
over.
By Mark Waid.
Yeah, those are over.
They were great
Yeah.
for like the first 3 years or whatever it was. Those 2 stories.
And then just kind of...
But are you kidding? Are you going to even defend what happened in like the last like third?
I never
of that?
finished it.
Yeah, I never finished them either.
Okay, good fucking argument.
Now, mind you,
Okay.
a large part of the reason I never finished it is they started putting out these beautiful hardcovers, so I started buying it so I could read it. And then they stopped putting out these beautiful hardcovers, and then I was sad.
So it was,
Did they really?
I believe
They
it
didn't
was
finish them?
no, as far as I know.
Whoa.
Incorruptible, was it?
Yeah, Incorruptible
and
and
Irredeemable,
Irredeemable.
and it was about if
What amazing first few volumes.
amazing first few volumes.
Mark
It's Mark Waid,
Yeah,
both
I-
of them, and
I
it's
always
in a
hear-
shared universe. And the whole idea is if Superman was to become evil, and the other title was if who's the most evil person ever? Black.
I mean, it's not
Adam?
like Joker or Luther. He's like
Right, yeah, not Black Adam
he's
either.
more like Negan,
Yeah.
wasn't he?
Well, I've always heard
Spoiler
great,
alert.
like I always heard great things about it, and people are like, "Oh, you need to read it," and then I never got around to it, and then I was like, "Oh, Incorruptible, Irredeemable." People are all like, "Yeah."
They just
Like,
it
it's-
just
I-
bleh,
yeah.
No. For the first 3 years, those
that
stories
was the thing.
were
That
great.
was the thing is people were excited about it and saying, "Oh, this is great. Oh, this is
Oh,
wonderful."
so you jumped on 3 years late. And it
I just didn't
anymore.
get a chance because I was reading so much material. And when I finally kind of got around to it, and I said Irredeemable, and asked people about it, they were like, it was after the 3-year mark, and they were like,
Yeah.
I can't defend you if you're jumping on 3 years late. Look, those stories, great example of.
Do you know how much I read?
If you read so much, how did you get on that 3 years late? That's like what?
Because that came out. It was
Anyway,
an
it doesn't
independent
matter.
book
It doesn't
that
matter. It
came
doesn't
out
matter.
when
The
I was
point
like,
is,
I'm
the
not
point
reading
is,
anything.
if you want a good story, read the first couple volumes of each of those, and then it peters off. But still, you don't need to read to the conclusion of those stories. The first couple volumes of each of those stories was great. If you want to see a villain turned hero and a hero turned villain for good reasons and good interplay in the universe, those are great. It goes tits up, but you know.
Do we ever figure out what mutant I am from the X-Men?
I'm gonna keep thinking about it. Groot.
Not a mutant.
Oh,
to
mutant.
say.
Sorry, I forgot it was okay, I'm sorry, I apologize. I forgot that it was a mutant. Okay, I'm gonna think about this.
While you're thinking about it, let's thank our good friends on Patreon. Albert Soy.
You're definitely like one of those mutants that we hear about from a Twitter listener question, and they're like, "Oh yeah, this person was a mutant," and you're like, "What the fuck? That person was a mutant?" Like I was just recently when I watched Logan reminded that. Did you already stop it?
Gold balls.
No, he hasn't
I
even done the
wouldn't
outro.
give him gold
You interrupted
balls.
the Albert Soys part.
So I would say that like randomly they were like, "Oh yeah, Alpha Flight, they were all mutants." Don't you remember? And it's like, what the fuck? They were Alpha Flight were mutants? Like I do not remember, even though I should. So anyway, I will think about it, and the next time I'm on, I will have a good answer as to which X-Men Brock would be.
Julian Titus, who joined us last week for our epic 300 episode.
Thank you,
He's at
Julian.
pixelbit.com
No pants.
with Nerds Without Pants podcast. Join those guys over there.
That was a little premature. Speaking of no pants, Toby, you're supposed to say it after he says.
I sometimes just ejaculate early, man. I'm sorry.
Ryan Hess has the Preach
Did
podcast.
he say what I think he just
Yeah.
said?
he
Preach
did.
podcast at soundcloud.com/preach podcast. Jody Lawson has the Triad Comics Anthology at triadcomicstudios.com. Mano plays Sam Che, Talon Bray, and Craig Anderson. Thank you guys all very much for all your donations as well. And we got a big list, which we'll read in a couple weeks if you want to get on that. Patreon.com/comicconspiracy. Anything to rate, or anything to plug, I'm sorry. Give us some money there.
If there's something to rate, it's us.
Myself and Toby recorded a very quick Patreon bonus episode that we put up the other day. We were testing out some
Mario Day.
Yeah, for Mario Day, we were testing out some online recording capability, something I think we may try to take a little more advantage of. So let us know what you think. It's a bit of a test, but we're going to do more of this for a little bonus stuff here and there. We owe you a Bryce briefly. Where's your roundup, dude? You owe me like 4 roundups now. So we'll get on that.
I like how he points to Toby and he's like, Charlie's already recorded
No,
that
it's-
shit. So
Charlie recorded. Toby gives me the file.
Charlie
So
did his part.
all of that's at patreon.com/comicconspiracy. As little as $1 a month, you can access
We
all
have
this
to
stuff.
record the next two, though.
ComicConspiracyPodcast.com, Geekbox.net, and iTunes is where you can find this podcast and all our previous episodes. Rate and review us. Thank you. The Comic Conspiracy at Geekbox.net. That's for those long-form questions. Send them there. Digital.comicsconspiracy.biz. Marvel's been having some crazy good deals on their Monday
Ben
sales.
Affleck reveals he recently completed treatment for alcohol addiction.
Yeah, I saw that. Good for him.
Good for him. Good for you, Ben.
Yeah, hopefully...
No wonder he killed so many people in BVS.
Nah.
Oh, too soon? Not appropriate? Both.
Well, hopefully he's fine. Hopefully he's okay. Conspiratorrock.com. Oh yeah, big Marvel sales, especially on those Monday sales on our digital website. Keep checking those out. Go there. There's some crazy good sales I've had recently. Conspiratorrock.com. That's Brock's blog and video pull list. Wanderers in the Fourth Dimension podcast. That's Charlie's Doctor Who podcast. Also Etsy.com/shop/Leanne Hill Art. That's my wife. You can go buy some art from her there.
Hey, since you plug Leanne every episode, can we get her on an episode?
I mean, she's certainly working, but she was in the Geekbox ones. I don't think she liked it.
well, she was kind of on the
I
conspiracy.
can't see her liking it either.
She was kind of on the
She
conspiracy.
would just yell at all of us,
Yeah.
especially
No.
me.
She would give us a lot of...
She was on our BVS commentary episode when we were at your house, and she was in the background calling you an idiot.
BVS.
What?
Civil War?
BVS?
Oh, Civil War.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
gonna say your BVS episode at Higgins' house, and I wasn't invited.
No,
What the
our
fuck
Civil
are
War
you
episode.
even talking about?
Yeah, the Civil War episode we recorded. Yeah.
Yeah, Jim was there.
Episode we recorded at your house?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was me,
you and I
Brock.
weren't invited.
Lane.
Yeah, obviously.
I don't,
You
why
wanted a quiet atmosphere,
why
didn't you?
couldn't we... We had to do something special. We couldn't record here.
Had
It was
to do
because
something
it
special.
was because
Me and Bryce weren't
Was I leaving?
I think you were leaving.
So we did it. Yeah, we recorded at my house.
Were
I
you
remember
there,
that.
Charlie?
No, I wasn't.
Charlie, who
because I
never
think
lies,
it was
is
recorded on a
struggling for an
Friday.
answer.
Yeah, we recorded
So I
on.
had to record Wanderers.
Yeah, we recorded on some weird date.
Is that still going, by the way?
Yeah.
What are you still the
Well,
first Doctor?
Wanderers will not.
No,
end
no,
the
we're almost through the 5th. We're recording the last episode of the 5th Doctor this week.
Wow.
I've recorded hundreds of episodes. It's
Yeah, put
crazy.
your dick back in your pants, Charlie.
If you're on Twitter,
He's
you
embarrassed.
should
He's
follow
like,
all
yeah,
of us.
okay.
If you're on Twitter, you should follow all of us. Ryan Higgins.
He really
Ryan,
had it
that's
out. He's
myself.
like, oh, well, since you mentioned it.
Barack is Brock Sager. Bryce Larsen is Larsen Bryce on Twitter. Toby XI is Toby. Insanity and Chaos is Charlie. Comics Con Store is a store. Geekbox Comedy Button, Good Job Brain, All Talk Podcast, Manga Machinations. Go listen to those. There's a bunch of podcasts on our little network and some good people doing good stuff. Thank you guys all very much. Yeah.
Is this the part where I continue talking?
Short episodes of 1 hour and 50 minutes, so good lord, let's get the hell out of here. Goodbye,
You
everyone.
jinxed it.
We'll catch you next week.